liquid containing non-enriched uranium was accidentally poured on the ground and into a river at the Arevas plant in Tricastin nuclear plant site in southern France. Begin with me, Nabila. Today I'll tell you about the dangerous activities related to the environment. Did you get what I said? Alright, so watch this till the end.
So you've seen episodes of The Simpsons or other movies where the nuclear waste is leaking and it's glowing green and it either gives you superpowers or it kills you, or maybe one and then the other.
Nuclear waste. Nuclear waste is a loose term that refers to material that has become radioactive after use in nuclear facility. It can include anything from clothing to equipment. So what exactly the nuclear waste is it? To make you understand that there are things you should know about nuclear waste. First, there are categories. There are 3 levels applied to this waste depending on its level of radioactivity. It's low, intermediate, and high. Very low level waste contains radioactive materials at a level not considered harmful to people or the environment. It includes paper, rags, tools, clothing, or filters from hospital,
industry, or the nuclear fuel cycle. The 2 is
intermediate level. It's such contaminated materials from reactor decommissioning contains higher amount of radioactivity. It is stored in nuclear fuel recycling facilities before permanent storage.
3. High-level waste is the most dangerous one. It comes from the burning of uranium fuel in a nuclear reactor.
It is highly radioactive and hot, requiring cooling and shielding. It accounts for over 90% of radioactivity. What cannot be recycled is stored in ponds at reactor sites. Disposal of waste worldwide. One of the disposal of waste in the worldwide is the United States. It's since 1999. The only deep repository for the disposal of the funds related to radioactivity waste in New Mexico. President Barack Obama opposed the opening of the UK mountain nuclear waste storage site in Nevada. Incidents involving nuclear waste. In 1987, an old radiation source was scavenged from an abandoned hospital in Goiânia, Brazil. Potassium chloride ended up in scrap yard, spreading undetected and killing 4 people.
On July 28, liquid containing non-enriched uranium was accidentally poured on the ground and into a river at the Arevas plant in Tricastin nuclear plant site in southern France. That sounds really cool, right? But how about the latest news of the nuclear waste? How was the situation these days? Alright, so let's check this out.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Supa from Green TV. State of April 2022. For profits were allocated to some breaking, some actual news, and some lost news in all over the world. The first is about workers evacuate from the Carlsbad nuclear waste repository area after an afternoon event. And here is the first news. An incident at the Wells Isolation While nuclear waste repository near Carlsbad led to the evacuations of workers Saturday night from an area of the facility where waste was prepared for disposal. Radiological control technicians RCTs at the Department of Energy Waste Isolation Pilot Plant near Carlsbad identified low level of radioactive contamination Saturday evening in a small amount of crystalline liquid in the bottom of turbine 2 container. Turbine 2 can hold up to 40-55 gallons waste drums. According to the news release, the world's containers were placed back inside the turbine 2 and operations were paused and placed in a safe configurations. All personnel in the area were evacuated and tested for contamination. All personnel were instructed to evacuate the contactee until all 8A rest is conducted hand and full freeze for everyone in the GHA and no contamination is found. All personnel were initially instructed to remain indoors. No personnel were in underground area of the facility. The release age operation of WIPP were temporarily paused. Workers were not in the underground at the time of the incident. The release rate, no radiations were released from the site, and there was no risk of the public at the news release. The WIPP Emergency Operations Center and Joint Information Centers were active at the Skate Westlock building in Carlsbad to respond to an incident. However, WIPP officials announced at 11 p.m. Saturday that emergency protocol had been activated. This thing is, I could present to you, and if you have some suggestions and critics about this program, please visit us at www.greentv.co.id or you may call us on the number below. I'm Nabila Zulfa from Green TV, and all of the crew say have a wonderful day. See you next time, and bye bye.
There must be lessons in every occasion as well as nuclear and the waste problems. Remember how the accidents in Chonye, Brazil could affect several problems? How the Chernobyl and Fukushima societies have a difficult time to recover. So, we must learn from those situations, and these are the lessons for us. First, nuclear power is a highly complex, expensive, and dangerous way to boil water. Nuclear power does nothing more than provide a high-tech and extremely dangerous way to boil water and to create steam to turn turbines. Second, the nuclear industry and its experts cannot plan for every contingency or prevent every disaster. Although it was known that Fukushima is subject to earthquake and tsunamis, the nuclear industry and its experts do not plan for the combinations of a 9.0 earthquake and a larger than expected tsunami that followed. Third, radiation released from nuclear accidents cannot be contained in space and will not stop at national borders. The wind will carry long-lived radioactive materials around the world and affect the people and environment in every countries and regions. The radiations will also affect the occasions of the world, which are the common heritage of humankind. Radiation releases from nuclear accidents cannot be contained in time and will adversely affect countless future generations. The radioactive materials from nuclear power plant accidents, as well as from radioactive waste, are a legacy we are bequeathing to future generations of humans and other forms life on the planet. Fifth, the nuclear energy could not adapt in several contingencies, especially Indonesia, who recognized as the Ring of Fire, which is enlarged risk, so that the government should wisely think about every potential that cannot be predicted by the experts to avoid any occurrence. Faced with such failures, some countries have started seeking community and consultations and verbal commitment to voluntary participations in practice. However, many of these countries have just focused on finding a relatively powerless community to cite their geological repository, portraying the waste management project as a major investment that would bring large amount of money, jobs, taxes to local governments, and if necessary, dealing with any oppositions through some combinations of undemocratic decisions making at a local level, bravery, and force. As well as George Santayana famously said, that those who can remember the past are condemned to repeat it. If we fail to learn the lessons from nuclear power and the waste, such as the accidents at the Chernobyl or Brazil journey more than 3 decades ago, or to understand its meaning for our future, we just lived on our disasters in the future too. As a nuclear waste, which has some level of difficulty about storage and manage it, however, those countries have a huge concern to think about radioactivity effect. Therefore, Indonesia must take lessons how to manage hazardous waste and relate to higher radioactivity in some business. We cannot think easier to handle radioactivity because it has a huge effect of human living. So let's be wise about our activities. We should do our best for our future. Thank you.